The superstars of Monster Jam invade the historic Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. A huge field ready to do battle, and the fans have packed in from all over the Southwest, looking forward to seeing their favorites in action. It's a great event full of racing and freestyle, and it's next on Monster Jam. Who's ready for Monster Jam?
Hold on, baby! Here goes the camper!
Welcome to another exciting, action-packed Monster Jam show. I'm Scott Douglas in San Antonio, Texas, with a field of some of the sport's great superstars, and it has been a night full of racing upsets, and you can see our championship race will match Chad Fortune in Superman and Lupe Sosa in El Toro Loco. Superman beating Predator in the semifinals to be able to move into this matchup against the native Texan, Lupe Sosa and El Toro Loco. There's a good look at the 2006 Custom Bull for the driver out of the Corpus Christi area in Texas, and Chad Fortune, the very popular and familiar Superman truck in the championship race. So the finals are underway. Cyclone style course, big, long, fast track, and Sosa gets off to a great start. Both trucks running well. Fortune with some big air tries to settle it down because he's got to collect the truck, get back in the turn. Sosa is just a bit ahead as the trucks go through the turn. Lupe Sosa really skying it out in El Toro Loco, and look how nicely that truck settles. He is able to keep the momentum up, get back on the throttle, and at the finish line by less than a truck length to win to Sosa.
Our own Tejano Pride, Lupe, congratulations!
Oh, muchas gracias. Thank you, San Antonio. That was for you. This couldn't be a sweeter victory right here in my own backyard. I want to thank all you fans. I love you guys. You're the reason that drives me to all this craziness out here.
Let's hear it for Lupe Sosa, El Toro Loco!
Thanks to Fernando Rubio for a great job on the interview with Lupe Sosa. And now it's time to go freestyling, and out of the gate first, the very popular Monster Mutt, Lee O'Donnell, behind the wheel of this converted 1951 chop-top Lincoln Mercury. And it is right off the bat. Lee O'Donnell's got the ears flopping. You can already see some damage sustained in the racing part of the program, but that's just body damage. The truck at 100% as O'Donnell whips in to some nice Cyclone-style donuts to get it going. Again, each truck has 90 seconds to perform in freestyle, and 3 judges will judge that 90-second period based on a 1 to 10 scoring system. So you can get up to 30 points for the 90 seconds. Then if you fill the clock, there's 30 more seconds available. It's called bonus time, and a separate judge can award up to 5 more points in the bonus period. Now, O'Donnell in a little bit of trouble. That's going to cost him some points from the judges because technically he was out of bounds. They'll freeze the clock, let him back in, and now the clock is rolling once again. But Lee O'Donnell really needs to sustain some great momentum here in the back end of this performance. He got off to a nice start, but again, it kind of broke his momentum when he went out of bounds for that brief period. Clock counting down the regulation time in the upper left-hand corner of your screen for former off-road racing star Lee O'Donnell, who came up in some smaller trucks running on off-road courses and still does that when he's not behind the wheel of the Monster Mutt. He really loves the big boys, and he is certainly at the elite level when you're talking about the Monster Mutt truck, one of the most popular trucks and teams in the entire world. Now, O'Donnell has filled the clock, so the scores are being turned in now from the regulation judges, and now Lee can try and add to his point total in bonus time, and he'll start it off with some more donuts, which he did nicely in regulation. And normally the bonus judge wants to see a little something new, but this is a very fiery run in bonus time, and he gets 2 bonus points to go with his 22, so that's a good score, starting us off 24 for the Monster Mutt and Lee O'Donnell. Now, Ramunition is on the track, and a struggle already shut down. The score will just be a 7 for Ramunition. Here's Batman, John Seasock, and this could be an interesting freestyle run. John is the 2-time defending and reigning world racing champion. He was disappointed. He thought he was going to win the racing here in San Antonio, didn't even make it to the finals. So now John wants to cut it loose, see if he can make up for it in freestyle. And as you can tell, this is a track that is very conducive to donuts, and Seasock doing a brilliant set, maybe even a little bit stronger than what we saw from the Monster Mutt. And that will be key. With this many good trucks in the field, a lot of the trucks will have some similar moves, so the judges will literally compare how a truck like Batman does donuts against what we've already seen from the Monster Mutt. And certainly, John will get a very favorable looking from the judges there after what he just did with that strong set of donuts. But again, it's also key to fill the clock and get into the bonus time these days. It's hard to win if you can't at least pick up some bonus points. And already Cisak has got his regulation clock ticking down toward the 30-second mark. Nicely done. That's called a sky wheelie when you shoot it straight up like that, and boy, he levels the truck down perfectly and continues on with the run. So this is a solid run from the world racing champion, who is freestyling very, very well here in front of this capacity crowd at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. Take it down to the final 10 seconds of regulation, and Cisak is flying high. Some big air from John Cisak and Batman, and that'll take us down to the completion of the regulation clock. So the three judges scoring regulation now turn their scores in. Again, they're all based on 1 to 10, and now the bonus judge takes over, and Cisak's back in the donuts. Nicely done for Batman. He will get 3 bonus points to go along with his score, and he takes the lead with a 25. The fans loving freestyle, and we are back on the track as you see Sudden Impact and a newcomer, David Frey, behind the wheel of Sudden Impact. Truck that's been around for a lot of years, has gone through several different drivers. Of course, it first made its name with John Cisak, who now drives Batman. And Sudden Impact looking to make an impact here in this freestyle competition where John Cisak and Batman currently has the top score. A 25 is the best we've seen so far, and will be a tough score to beat, as Cisak certainly gave us quite a run. Sudden Impact now looking for a little momentum and some big air to try and impress the judges, off to a kind of a slow start, but now picking up some ground. Again, very well-known truck that has been around for well over a decade, as John Cisak campaigned it himself for years, and then we've seen several drivers over the last few years take their turn behind the wheel of Sudden Impact. As we near the 30-second mark, the truck shuts down, and that means the run is going to be scored low. It's only a 15 for Sudden Impact. Batman's still your leader. Now here is one of the most improved freestyle drivers in the sport, Candace Jolly, the young lady from Naples, Florida, who takes out the Monster Mutt Dalmatian, and certainly she has been very impressive so far this year. Really just her 3rd year of Monster Jam competition, and she has just come so far. And you can see right there, not afraid of anything, a huge sky wheelie. She loves the big jumps. Candace has really improved her freestyle, and she says one of the reasons is not just experience, but the technology in the sport. She's been fitted for one of the brand new seats that are all the rage in Monster Jam, where each seat is custom built for the driver. And since Candace is one of the smallest and shortest drivers on the circuit today, that custom seat very important to her, and look at her get through the donuts. Nicely done, as Candace Jolly continues a solid run in the Monster Mutt Dalmatian. Boy, she really has a nice rhythm on the throttle, as you can hear. That engine noise comes up, and she just works that throttle and keeps the momentum up when she needs it. She'll take it down now to her final 20 seconds with some of the biggest air we've seen tonight. And, oh, almost got in trouble, but she did settle the truck back down nicely. So again, while she didn't combo up, which the judges would have loved, she also did not flip the truck over, playing it smart, and just hit the brakes and made sure she didn't go over before the time expired, which will cost you in the eyes of the judges. She will fill that regulation clock, but again, struggling here just a little bit at the end, so she'll go into bonus time, launching into more Cyclone Donuts. Candace Jolly and the Monster Mutt Dalmatian, a good run. She'll get a bonus score of 2, but she falls just a little bit short, 21 and 2. That makes a total of 23, so Batman is still your leader, as Dale Mitchell brings the Pouncer onto the track. One of the Alan Pizzo trucks. Alan Pizzo, more than 25 years in the sport, fields the Predator, the Pouncer, and the Prowler. Well, this is the Pouncer, actually the newest of the trucks out of this team that's based in the central part of the United States in Brentwood, Tennessee. Mitchell, a veteran who's been racing for several years as part of veteran Alan Pizzo's team, needs a big performance here to be able to get on top of what Batman did as the #1 score on the board right now. In freestyle competition, Monster Jam in San Antonio, he almost got himself in trouble. That's the out-of-bounds marker, but since only one wheel went out, They allowed it to continue, but he didn't go much further. And again, the scores will reflect that. It's just an 18 on the scoreboard right there for the Pouncer. Now the veteran Michael Vaughters and the Black Stallion Ford out of Hagerstown, Maryland. Vaughters, another driver with about 25 years of experience behind the wheel of a Monster Jam truck. Now, he's competed in the NGK Sparkplugs World Finals in the past, but really better known for his excellence on smaller arena-style floors, especially those without dirt. Those events, called Thunder National events, have seen Mike Vaughters dominate for years, where he's a several-time Thunder National season champion. But he always loves his opportunity to get on the dirt, get on these big stadium floors in these huge domes, and see what he can do against the big guns in the sport. And Vaughters freestyling right now, halfway through his run. Now, that's not a move that will impress the judges. Again, he kind of rolled that hill rather than skying it out, and some of the other drivers have been getting much bigger air. So Vaughters looking for a big finish with only 30 seconds left on the regulation clock. That's the air we're talking about. And can he hang on to her, pulls it down? What a move. Wow, the move of the night so far, but he shuts down early, and that'll cost him on the scoreboard. Batman, still your leader. Oh, the fans are loving the awesome freestyles as the competition continues. Superman comes out strong. Chad Fortune announces his presence. His first move is a big one as Superman looks to try and get the lead away from the Batman truck. So John Seesaw continues to set the pace, but this may be his biggest challenge so far. What a great start for Chad Fortune and Superman. Great momentum and big air right off the bat, and that's what you got to do to impress the judges. Get their attention early and then just keep it throughout the run. And boy, Chad is really putting together a run of nice jumps and leaps. Plenty of time to continue to make some great impressions for the veteran driver of the Superman truck. Again, comes up the big hill and gasses the throttle to get some more big air, and Chad Fortune putting together a very nice run. If he can sustain it for 40 more seconds, he's got a shot at taking the lead away from Batman. So it's kind of superhero time on Monster Jam. Batman the leader, but Superman certainly is going to make a case if he fills this clock that he should be in that #1 spot. Let's see how Chad can finish these final 25 seconds. A little cross-thread move that, again, we haven't seen from many drivers. And when you cut diagonally across the cars just like this, called a cross-thread move, again, the judges like it, and they really like it when you're the first one to do it, and no one else has been able to cross-thread thus far. So Chad Fortune doing everything you would think the judges want to see, including more nice air, and he will indeed fill the 90-second clock and take it into his 30-second bonus period. See what Fortune could do in bonus. This is his opportunity to get the lead. Boy, he didn't want to do that right there, to shoot the back end like that into the stack of cars, but he keeps it moving, and he will park it right on top of the bus, and he will get the lead. We've got a new leader. The 3 bonus points take him up to 28, and Superman takes the #1 spot. Well, they just keep coming at you in this great freestyle competition. Our next contestant is the Iron Warrior. This is Trey Myers, a driver who competes as a teammate to Michael Vaughters, who we saw a few moments ago in the Black Stallion. Trey Myers, a veteran who has raced overseas in the Monster Jam competition, has been part of the European Tour in the past, and right now back to campaigning his familiar Iron Warrior Ford here in San Antonio, Texas. Getting off to a decent start, but again, we've seen some great performances already, and a dandy from Superman has Chad Fortune currently sitting in the hot seat, which is where you go when you're the leader in a big freestyle competition, and Superman sits #1. Right now, Iron Warrior probably needs to pick up the pace. A pretty good, solid run for Trey Myers, but again, if he wants to grab the #1 spot, the judges clearly going to be looking for some big air and some spectacular moves. Anybody will be able to top what Superman has done so far. We'll take it down now to the final 20 seconds in regulation time. And again, one of the first keys is you must fill the clock as we get a nice little sky wheelie. Looked like he wanted to send it up into a slap wheelie, but it didn't finish the run, and the scores would be low because of it, just a 19. Well, I mentioned veteran Alan Pizzo earlier. Here he is, another driver with more than a quarter-century of experience in Monster Jam, and his Predator, of course, has been one of the best-known trucks in the world for that time. And well, he comes right out looking for a cross-thread move. Right across the car sideways, and Now it's up to Pizzo to see if he can find some big air, because that apparently is what it's going to take to win here after what we saw from Chad Fortune and Superman a little bit earlier. If you can't match Superman's air, it's going to be tough to be able to get the victory here in San Antonio in front of these great Texas Monster Jam fans. Again, Alan Pizzo, longtime Monster Jam veteran, has won on some of the biggest stages and some of the biggest stadiums that Monster Jam goes to. So he's no stranger to getting the big trophy. But again, over this last half of his run, you would think he needs to add some big air moves to be able to impress the judges. The donuts will look good. Nicely done, but that shuts him down. The run ends, and it's only going to be a score of 18 for the Predator. And here's another one, just like Superman. El Toro Loco starts out with a huge leap on the first move and a great save. Nice start for Lupe Sosa, the former world freestyle champion in El Toro Loco. He's in his native home state of Texas. Earlier on this program, you saw he won the racing competition, and look at him. He's going for it here in freestyle. Now remember, on the big stadiums in Monster Jam, if you win racing and freestyle on the same night, you win what has become one of the most coveted prizes in Monster Jam. It's called the Double Down Trophy. They call it a Double Down in honor of the ticket package at the NGK Sparkplugs World Finals, where fans get all the extra special benefits when they buy that Double Down ticket. Well, here, Lupe Sosa is looking for a Double Down Trophy, and he is flat going for it. So far, matching and maybe exceeding some of the big air that we saw from Superman. El Toro Loco, one of the most popular trucks in the world indeed, but nowhere probably is this truck and the driver, Lupe Sosa, more popular than right here in his home state of Texas. Again, he resides just down the road in the Corpus Christi area, so a nice trip for him to come on up to San Antonio and thrill some more Texas fans. And he is doing a phenomenal job. Look at the air. And again, there wasn't a lot to that jump. He was just able to get great elevation and combos it up with another big move and another nice save. These saves may give El Toro the lead. The judges love to see the saves, because again, when you flip it over onto the roof, the run's done, and no longer will that get you any extra points. Judges will reward great saves. So we'll see in just a moment what the three regulation judges think, because Lupe is in bonus time. El Toro Loco with that nice throttle control as he brings it up over another jump, and he is going to fill the bonus period with even more big jumps. So Superman is going to get a challenge. It's all up to what the judges think now. El Toro Loco certainly has stated his case to try and win what would be his first Double Down Trophy here on a televised Monster Jam event. A great run from Lupe Sosa and El Toro Loco, and he'll wrap it up, filling the bonus time, and we are going to have a new leader. Lupe Sosa and El Toro Loco. The bonus points of 4 will get him up to 30, and El Toro now has the lead. This awesome freestyle battle will continue as the Raminator hits the track. It is Mark Hall in that Dodge Ram trying to get the lead away from the native Texan Lupe Sosa, who has El Toro Loco in position for the huge Double Down Trophy. El Toro Loco leads this freestyle after winning racing earlier here in San Antonio. The score to beat is now a 30, and Raminator is going after it. Again, this is Mark Hall, a driver who has been in Monster Jam and in monster trucks in general for years, getting an opportunity here to battle on this big stage in the Alamo Dome, and he's really cutting a nice set of donuts. But again, this is going to take big air, and one of the things that Lupe Sosa did that we'll see if anybody can match, El Toro Loco had several great saves of the truck when it looked like it might flip over. Sosa was able to save it, and again, it pressed the judges so much that he got great scores, 26 in regulation, 4 in the bonus time. So that is what Mark Hall now has in front of him, trying to exceed what Sosa did in El Toro Loco to be able to get the lead away and try to get this win. Several more top competitors to go, as El Toro Loco, number 1, and Raminator coming up with some nice air on that sky wheelie. May not be enough unless he can really finish big here to get the lead away from El Toro Loco. Final 10 seconds of regulation for Mark Hall. Continues to run strong, and you can really hear that big engine, that 1,500 horsepower ride, certainly sounding strong and looking good here in San Antonio. More big air to fill the 90-second clock. Now the regulation judges turn in their scores. We go into bonus time. He got a bonus of 2 with that big jump, but again, his scores will be nowhere near the total that Lupe Sosa put down in El Toro Loco. Now here's a guy to watch. Damon Bradshaw. And the Air Force Afterburner comes out strong with a beautiful combination. Maybe the biggest threat to Lupe Sosa coming up. Well, there's still a couple more back there, including the world champion, but Damon Bradshaw is a threat to win everywhere he goes. 2007 Monster Jam Rookie of the Year, and he has done nothing but get better and better ever since that impressive first season. And you can see this combination of air that Damon is putting together. Former legend on the Supercross circuit, where he ran worldwide extensively on two wheels. And in Supercross, he dominated for years, took about 10 years out of motorsports, and then came back in 2007 with an opportunity to drive a Monster Jam truck, and look at what he's doing. Beautifully done. Now, the problem is he has to shut the truck down, so that will be a slight negative to the judges, even though it was an impressive slap wheelie that put him near the out-of-bounds marker. Final 30 seconds of regulation time for a run that might just challenge El Toro Loco for that #1 spot, and look at this. Climbs the bus stacks, and the Air Force Afterburner just rolls on. Awesome Cyclone-style donuts from Damon Bradshaw. Look at this. The Air Force Afterburner making his case that he should be in that #1 spot. But remember, Lupe Sosa also picked up 4 bonus points for El Toro Loco. So the Air Force Afterburner has filled the clock. But what about the bonus time? He's going to need bonus points to be able to get the lead away, with El Toro sitting there at the 30 mark. Nicely done. Some of the biggest air of the night from the Air Force Afterburner. Tough decision for the judges. Is this enough to take the #1 spot away from Lupe Sosa? Damon Bradshaw sure trying to do it. What a big air assault. I mean, he is just hammering it. And he will come up 1 point short. He needed a little more in the bonus. El Toro Loco still has the lead. Now here's the reigning world freestyle champion, the youngest world champ in the history of the sport, but the truck shut down, and that's why the scores are so low. Taz breaks early, so once he gets the truck running again, he comes back out since the scores are already in. He's just doing it for the fans, so here are a couple of highlights of Taz showing the fans, even though it's not for the scoreboard, why he is the reigning world freestyle champion. Adam Anderson thrilling the fans in San Antonio. And now it's up to Chad Tingler to try and put Gravedigger in the hot seat as our winner. Otherwise, Lupe Sosa will be grabbing that coveted double down trophy. Chad Tingler and Gravedigger on the track. Well, right now, again, just trying to get started, needs to match some of the intensity in the high air that we saw from El Toro Loco. Lupe, I think he's got his eyes on that double down trophy, as Gravedigger coming up with some big air. There's a nice leap from Chad Tingler, but look out, he's not going to save it. It's going over, and Lupe Sosa wins freestyle. El Toro will double down in San Antonio.
He won the Monster Jam Racing, and he has won the Monster Jam Freestyle. Lupe, how do you feel after this double down?
Oh, this is great for San Antonio. Like I said a while ago, right in my backyard, but I couldn't have done it without my great crew. Roger, our Big Rob, Mike, and Blue. These guys kept this truck going all weekend long, and most importantly, all you fans, because without you guys, we wouldn't have a job. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations to El Toro Loco, double down winner.
Thanks again, Fernando Rubio, and congratulations to Lupe Sosa. El Toro Loco shocked some of the big guns. Of course, he is a big gun himself in freestyle, former world champion, but not only winning there, winning racing as well. We get a look at the highlights in San Antonio, Texas.